Afternoon, guys. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. This is Scorpions FX SA, and we're back again. And we're gonna analyze the markets and see what we're gonna get this week. We're gonna start off with AUD CAD. So, most AUD pairs we're looking for longer term upside because they're at significant lows, making lower lows. So, it's a strong downtrend. So, we got this corrective pattern looking for a push to the upside. But if we go to the 4-hour time frame, we're at this trend line. We got to this trend line, and then we're expecting a break because of the nature of this pattern, and we're expecting to at least get to those levels. So we're just going to see how it develops because we've got this ascending pattern that could break to the downside. And if we go to H1, it's clear here. 1, 2, 3 touches, and there's another corrective pattern there. So we're going to see how it reacts off of these levels. Otherwise, longer term, we're looking for upside. So this could develop into a bigger flag, and we go to the upside. AUD we've been looking for buys after we got this third touch. So we're looking for buys off of this level. But as you can see, it's still in a strong downtrend. We got to sell after the breakout of this descending pattern. And on H1, this is the third touch area. We're going to see how this develops, but it doesn't really give us a clear direction, and we don't have a descending pattern to go to the upside. So this could develop into a corrective pattern to keep going down, but we'll only look for buys if we get a clear descending corrective pattern to go to the upside. AUD New Zealand. Daily time frame, we got a third touch off of this level again. We're looking for buys off of this corrective pattern, but it didn't commit to the upside. So what we're looking for is this as an impulse, a correction, and another impulse to the downside to break this level. This is what it looks like when we zoom in. So we got that 1, 2, we didn't commit to the third touch, we just broke the double top, and we went there correctively, and we got that sell off of that ascending pattern. So we're going to see if it's going to commit and break all the way down, because if we get that break, we should get a nice strong move to at least those lows. First target would be those lows, and then those lows. AUD we're looking for buys after we broke out of this pattern. 1, 2, third touch with a strong rejection. We're looking for buys, and then we got to this level, and then we got this correction, and we got that break. So when the market opens, we're going to look to see if we can get some development, and we can continue to go with this buy, or we could wait for the impulse and another correction to keep going up. Moving on to CAD yen on the daily time frame. This is a weekly trend line, and we had this 1, 2. We were approaching the third touch period of the double top, and then we sold right off of that, and we broke out and continued selling, and we also broke out of this weekly trend line, and we just go to the weekly time frame. So we got that 1, 2, 3, fourth touch of the trend, the pattern, the breakout, and now we're breaking out of these lows. So this is clearly a strong downwards move, and we're going to look for correction and more downside on the weekly time frame. EuroCAD, we predicted this break to the upside because this was a very easy move. So we had this 1, 2, third touch, and we had this corrective pattern, and then we had this strong impulse, so we knew that it would go upwards for the week, last week. The pattern was unclear. The first one was clear, you got that buy off of that pattern, and then this was unclear, but it continued to go up, and now we're going to look for another bigger correction, a bit more upside till the top of that pattern to complete the 90% rule. Euro JPY, we got the break of this ascending pattern, this wedge pattern, and then it broke out. it should have been correlating with AUDJPY, but because the impulse didn't happen at the same time as AUDJPY, I'm expecting it to go up, maybe make a fair touch here and continue downside, but otherwise we're just going to wait to see how it develops. Euro USD. USD is continuing up, it's breaking out of this descending pattern that we've been watching. It's been consolidating for about 2 years. And then we've been anticipating the break to the upside. We didn't get that perfect touch to get the buy, so I never actually entered the trade, but there's still lots of momentum to the upside, so we're gonna see if we can get a correction and buys so we can keep going up. GBP JPY, this was the best trade that I've had so far this year. We can clearly see after it reacted off of this trend line and this demand level, we got this impulse and this correction. It's clear on the lower time frames. So there was this large correction and we reacted perfectly with the third touch. We impulsed at another correction for a scale in with a double top, and we continued going down. It almost didn't correct, there was no high time frame correction. So what I'm expecting, I can see this is a clear descending pattern, so I'm expecting it to go and probably reach these levels before committing to the downside, because on the high time frames it still has lots of downwards momentum. So I'm expecting it to go lower, but this pattern is telling me that either it wants to go back to the upside or it wants to form a larger correction before we get a sell. NZD CAD. We had a sell from these levels after we got the breakout of this channel and that corrective pattern after the impulse. Then we got that sell, and then we got stopped out because it didn't reach the 90% rule. So it might continue going down because we got to this trend line 1, 2, 3, and we have these rejection candlesticks. Although this move isn't corrective, we're gonna see how it reacts over this level, because we have that trend line with the 1, 2, 3, and we have the rejection candlestick. So if we get another impulse here, we can look for an entry, but it's not a good idea to enter with a risk entry because this is very impulsive. USD CAD. USD CAD, we have to go to the high time frames to see the structure. So we had this weekly ascending pattern and we're expecting it to impulse to the downside, but it was moving correctively, and we got that 1, 2, 3 third touch, and we got that buy over there. But then we're looking for sells around these levels because of that area, and we did get the short-term sell, but then after that trend line and that corrective pattern, we got that buy again, and now we're around these levels. So the nature of this pattern we would expect it, because of the nature of this pattern, we'd expect it to get to these levels and complete the 90% rule, but it's rejecting off of these levels, so we want to see how it reacts off of this level. So here we got an impulse off of the level, and then it corrected, but it didn't break to the downside. So we're gonna see how this area reacts to see whether it will break to the upside or to the downside, because this could be a bull flag, or it could just be an unconventional pattern that would still break to the downside. So we got this impulse and we're getting this correction, and we're going to see if it's going to break out and go all the way down, or if it's going to just break out with this flag and continue up. Gold gave us so many pips last week. I'm not sure how many people took the trade, but I know that some people in the trade. Gold has been in an uptrend for a very long time, so last week I was just looking for buys to ride the trend similar to what we do in Nasdaq. Because of the strong trend, we just follow the trend. So after we got this breakout onto the upside and we came down again, we touched this level and I saw these rejection candlesticks, so I knew that we're going back up. So we bought around those levels and we continue going up. It caught about 700 pips just from this gold move. And then we also had this after the 1, 2, 3 touch with that corrective pattern. That was a clear buy again, and then we completed the move. And then we got to this double top area on the higher time frame, and if we go on the lower time frame, there's another smaller double top with that 1, 2, and we had the strong impulse. So I want to see how the price reacts. If we can get a sell. I don't like coming to such low time frames, but we're going to see how the price reacts so we can get a sell, because we've had this strong impulsive candle. I hope we don't get any gaps this weekend, but that's what I see on gold. And last is Nasdaq. So in the daily time frame, after we reacted off of this trend line, we had that bullish pin bar. So we're looking to see if price can continue on its uptrend. What I'm expecting, I've been expecting a recession in US stocks because of the business cycles that the stocks follow, with a 5 to 7 year prosperity period followed by a recession. So we should be expecting a recession. But the nature of this pattern, after we got this impulse, then we reacted off to that daily trend line. We were going up correctively, we dropped a bit. We got this 1, 2, 3 touch with the double bottom and a strong impulsive candle. We got buys off of that level on lower time frames. So now we're going to see if this can complete and continue going to the upside, or if this may develop into another descending pattern. But for now, we're in buys on Nasdaq. So that's all that I'm looking at for the week. I haven't yet decided which will be my top 6 pairs that I'll be focusing on this week, but the markets are looking good, the structure is looking very good, and we're just gonna watch to see how the markets develop before we take any trades.